The most frequent perpetrators of financial exploitation of the elderly tend to be family members, typically children of elderly people. We also will see people who are close to the family, distant relatives even, or people who have come into the home as healthcare providers who will take advantage of elderly people. But I think most commonly we have seen children of elderly people taking advantage of their parents. Often the elderly person doesn't want to admit that they've been taken advantage of by someone who they care about, whether it's their children or a different relative or someone who they've allowed into their home. They don't want to get their children in trouble. They don't want to necessarily create problems within the family. Sometimes they feel embarrassed that they allowed this to happen, and sometimes they don't even believe that it's happened. Maybe they've voluntarily gone along with whatever financial payments have been made or whatever. So it's difficult sometimes to bring these cases with elderly people because they frequently don't wish to rock the boat. Social Services doesn't recommend a petition for conservatorship in all instances of financial exploitation. A single instance of abuse or neglect doesn't necessarily put someone on the waiting list or the short list for a petition for guardianship or conservatorship. We have to look at the whole picture, whether or not the person has the ability to make decisions on their own behalf and has the capacity to continue to do that. There's a lot of factors that we look at before we'll go forward and do a petition. There are cases where there is a power of attorney in place or there are other options available, and there's maybe no need for a conservatorship at that time. Sometimes a vulnerable adult has no further assets or money or property that needs to be protected with the appointment of a conservatorship. In that case, if their only income is, for instance, from Social Security disability or other Social Security benefits, then the Social Security Administration might appoint someone as a representative payee, and that would be short of having to file a conservatorship. We also can provide services through community services for the person. For instance, Meals on Wheels might be available. There might be some in-home care services. There might be a number of different ways that we can help that person without having to file a guardianship or a conservatorship. If a proposed ward in a guardianship proceeding objects to the filing of the petition and doesn't want a guardian appointed, they are entitled to have an attorney appointed for them to represent them and give them legal advice. They are entitled to have a trial in front of a court where all the facts are presented, and the county has the burden of proving that the person needs a guardian appointed or a conservator appointed on their behalf.